What's up, everyone? This is the part 2 video series on how to start a successful weight loss journey, or even continuing a weight loss journey if you haven't found success yet. If you didn't see the part 1 video, make sure to go back, check that out. So let's kind of go back over the first video and just do a quick summary of where we should be at and what we're working on moving forward. So to recap the first video, at this point, you should have already tracked your food for a week and figured out on average how many calories you're eating a day, as well as on average how many grams of protein you're intaking a day. After we found out what we were currently eating on average a day, then we needed to determine how much we're supposed to be eating for our activity level and our age, our gender, everything like that. So we used a online calculator to figure out how many calories we should be eating a day for our TDEE, and also what our BMR is for the minimum amount of calories we need without moving at all. From that point, we needed to determine, okay, am I eating at or above what my maintenance calories should be for my age and my size, or am I eating below that and I need to first speed up my metabolism and move my calories up before I can cut them to lose weight. And then I talked about how you want to do a 5 to 10% increase on calories every few weeks if you need to bump your calories up if you're eating below the TDEE from the calculator, or what to do if you're already eating at your TDEE, eating at your maintenance, and how to start dropping the calories below that. Also talked about how many grams of protein you should be eating and how to start slowly increasing your grams of protein if you're not eating enough. So now that we've laid the baseline of where we need to move in terms of our calories and our protein and our macros, now I want to kind of dive into everything else with a weight loss journey, like the workouts, what we're doing at home, things like that that are just as important that we need to think about. Now, the reason I'm going in the order that I did is because I'm going in order of importance. And the most important thing we need to do first and foremost is make sure we're eating enough calories for our activity level and our age, our gender, our body weight. We need to make sure of that, because if we don't start at the proper calorie point before we start cutting our calories to lose weight, the results will not be sustainable, or we're not even going to reach our goal because we're going to take our calories too low too quickly, and we'll hit a really hard plateau, and then we'll start getting negative health effects from that, and we will not reach the goal. So first and foremost, the most important thing is making sure that our protein is high enough and our calories are high enough before we cut our calories to start losing weight. The next order of importance is sleep. Sleep is very important because everything we do, you want to think of in terms of kind of like a battery on a cell phone. All day, whatever you're doing, you're eating, whatever you're doing in your workouts, that is diminishing the battery life of you. And basically everything we do is breaking our bodies down. And the only way to restore our bodies and get them as optimal as possible for tomorrow is to sleep, and not just go to sleep, but make sure we're getting good quality sleep for the minimum that we need, which a lot of us don't get. So minimum, we should all be getting 7 hours of actual sleeping time, not 7 hours laying in bed, but you should be asleep for good quality sleep, a minimum of 7 hours a night. And if you are not getting that, then you are negatively impacting your hormones, you're negatively impacting your health. Everything is going to start falling off track, and you're not going to get the fat loss results that you're after. So if you're not getting those 7 hours of sleep, then ultimately you're not going to be the healthiest version of yourself and charge yourself up for the next day. Now, prioritizing sleep is very difficult because we've all got a lot going on in our lives. You might have kids that keep you up, you might have pets that keep you up, stress at work. There's tons of things that make sleeping very difficult. So I'm not going to get into everything we can do to improve your sleep in this video because that would be also a very in-depth video. But all I can say is start prioritizing your sleep. Make sure that you are trying to get a minimum of 7 hours of actual sleep time a day, because without that, you are hurting your results. And that honestly could be the thing holding you back. You could be eating all the calories perfect. You could be eating your protein perfect, your macros perfect, workouts are perfect, and you're consistent every single day of the week with that, and you're still not getting results. But if you're sleeping 6 hours a night, that very well could be the one thing holding you up. So just make sure to prioritize your sleep. After we've got our sleep dialed in, we've got our calories dialed in, our protein dialed in, now we also want to talk about hydration. So hydration's a big thing, and actually your immune system plays a huge role in whether you're hydrated or not hydrated enough. So just make sure that you are drinking enough. So what is enough? Basically, you want to be drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, and then add 15 ounces for every hour of strenuous activity. So if you're working out for an hour, strenuous, getting a good sweat going, you'd want to add 15 ounces to the original half your body weight in ounces. Now, a lot of you might be already thinking, I don't drink anywhere near that. How am I just going to start drinking an extra 60 ounces of water a day? Don't make big jumps. So just like in the first video where I talk about making 5 to 10% increases in your calories, small increases in your protein, do the same exact thing with water. Just start drinking half a glass more a day or 1 glass more a day. Just start with small things, and after weeks, you'll eventually work your way up to where you should be. And yes, you are going to pee more. You're drinking more. There's no way around that. Now, I also will say your body will adapt to it. It's going to be a lot more fluid than normal at first. So you're going to be peeing a lot more than normal at first, but your body will start getting used to that amount of fluid, and you will start peeing less eventually, but it does take time. Now, let's kind of backtrack, because you're drinking more and you're also trying to prioritize sleep. You might already wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, which is affecting your sleep. Now, the best thing you can do is just do not drink any fluids 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. This is the best thing you can do. That still might not stop it from happening, but that's really the best approach you can take. And I will say, don't sacrifice your hydration for sleep either. Try to find the best of both worlds. Try to get your sleep as good as you can and your hydration as good as you can. Don't sacrifice one for the other. And once you do start drinking enough, you're going to feel it when you stop drinking enough. Drinking water is super important for our health. Obviously, the large majority of our body is water. We need water. It's very important. And even just a 1% decrease in hydration can lead to a 15% decrease in performance. So literally drinking 1% less water than you should be could be a 15% decrease in physical performance and even mental performance. So that is a huge difference. So those are really the 3 biggest pillars. We need to make sure that calories are where they should be, protein's where it should be, sleep is where it should be, and also hydration. Those are the biggest things that we need to focus on. Those are the big rocks. If you don't have those dialed in place first, the rest is history. All the other things, the supplements, the workouts, the yoga, like it's just all these things aren't going to play a role in fat loss as much as those things. Now, the next most important thing is your workouts, which I'm sure you're wondering about. That's what most people think is one of the most important things. It's very important, but believe it or not, it's not as important as all the other things I just mentioned. Now, what makes the workouts so important is what we're doing. The last thing you should be doing when you're trying to lose fat is cardio. So we need our workouts to be strength focused. And I'm not talking about the fake strength where you do circuits and HIIT training and you're just doing cardio with weights. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual strength training where you're lifting weight that's going to be heavy that you can only lift for, let's say, 15 or less reps, and then you have to rest for 1 minute or maybe even 2 minutes. The goal of the workouts is not to burn the most amount of calories possible. If it was, I would recommend doing cardio. Cardio will burn the most amount of calories. You do not have to worry about how many calories you are burning because you are already going to be eating less calories than you are burning with your daily activity. Anytime we go into a fat loss or weight loss goal and we want to lose weight, we have to eat less calories than we burn. So we cut our calories in order to do that. Well, there's no reason to burn more calories than we were already burning. We're already eating in a deficit, so there's no reason to burn more. Now, if you're someone who in the first video I talk about you're not eating enough calories to begin with, according to the online calculator, and you need to increase your calories, if you're doing cardio while you're increasing your calories, there's a good chance you'll actually gain body fat. But if you strength train while you're trying to increase your calories, you might not lose body fat. You might, but you also might not. But what those added calories will go towards is muscle, because your body is in an environment, you're doing workouts where your body needs more muscle. So these added calories, the added protein, that's going to go towards muscle tissue, and your fat percentage will slowly drop even though your calories are increasing. This is because you're going to start having a larger percentage of muscle on your body compared to the fat that's on your body that will become a smaller percentage. So what's happening is as you slowly increase your calories, you're building more muscle. Well, even if you don't lose any body fat, let's say you have 40 pounds of body fat and 100 pounds of muscle. Well, if you're slowly building muscle and you get up to 105 pounds of muscle and you're still at 40 pounds of body fat, your body fat percentage has just dropped because you have more muscle than fat. Another thing to keep in mind with the workouts is that your body is adapting to its environment. So when you burn a lot of calories by doing cardio, your body sees that high calorie burn and it doesn't know you're doing this just to lose a little weight. It thinks that this is for the rest of your life. So when you do this and your body's like, okay, we're burning more calories than I'm eating, and it thinks it's doing that forever, it thinks eventually you will starve to death. So what does your body do in order to adapt to that environment? It slows down its metabolism so that way you can do the same amount of activity and burn less calories. So what your body will start to do is minimize muscle, and it'll start breaking down the muscle on your body. So that way it slows down your metabolism. So what ends up happening when you do cardio for fat loss is half the weight lost is fat and half the weight lost is muscle. So your fat percentage doesn't actually change. That's why a lot of people will lose, 40, 50, pounds, but they don't have any different definition. They don't have any more definition. And they're like, I'm down 50 pounds, but I still don't have abs. I don't have the definition and shape I want. What happened? The number one, and I mean the number one most important thing when we are trying to lose weight and we're eating in a calorie deficit is maintaining muscle. The first thing your body wants to do is get rid of muscle. Muscle's very expensive tissue, and the more of it you have on your body, the more calories you're gonna burn. So the most important thing is keeping muscle on your body. The fat will come off whether you're working out or not, because you're eating in a calorie deficit regardless. What we don't want is to have muscle come off with the fat, because then your fat percentage isn't going to drop. The whole reason we want to strength train while we're trying to lose weight is so that way we can maintain muscle mass while we're eating in a calorie deficit to lose fat mass. Because you're likely not going to build muscle because we're not eating enough food. We're eating in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. We're not eating in a calorie surplus to build muscle. So you're likely not going to build muscle. You might get stronger, but you probably won't build actual muscle tissue. But you will be losing fat tissue while keeping the muscle you do have. And that's ultimately what you're after. That's going to give you the fat off your body. That's going to give you the toned look you're after. And that's going to drop your body fat percentage the fastest, all while keeping your metabolism in the same place. So this is going to look like a traditional strength training workout. Resting for a minute to 2 minutes between sets, and you're doing 3 sets of each exercise. So that might be 3 sets of squats, doing 8 to 12 reps, resting a minute to 2 minutes in between. And you want to be lifting a weight that's heavy enough to where when you get to the 12th rep, you can probably only do 1, maybe 2 more reps, but that's it. So it should be a heavy enough weight to where when you get to the 12th rep, you can't really do much more. Now, at this point, you've really got everything you need to put yourself on a successful track. You know where your calories need to be at, and you're either working them up to that, or you were already there and you started cutting your calories down. You know where your protein should be at, and you're working your way up there. You know that sleep's important, and you're working on getting at least 7 hours a night. You know where your hydration should be, and you're working at getting your hydration to those numbers. And you know what types of workouts you should be doing and why you need to strength train instead of doing cardio. And really, how much you work out doesn't matter. It's whatever works the best in your schedule. If you know you can only get to the gym 1 day a week and the other days are just kind of iffy, just go 1 day a week. That will be enough. If you want to go to the gym 5 days a week, go to the gym 5 days a week. Whatever fits in your schedule the best is going to be the best approach. It's not like going more days a week will give you more results. That's not the case, especially if you haven't been working out at all. If you start going to work out 1 day a week and you haven't been working out at all, that's already more than you were doing. Your body will already start changing for the better. Really, you just want to start implementing that. And moving forward, this is where things get very individual, and it's really hard for me to continue to give general guidance. And basically, you just want to get your calories up to where they should be, like we talked about. Once you're there, or if you were already there, then you want to drop your calories by 300 to 500 calories a day and keep it in a 500 calorie deficit, let's say, every day for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Keep your protein exactly where it's at. Do not drop your protein. Drop your calories through carbs and fats and not protein. And continue working out, continue drinking enough, continue sleeping enough, and stay in that calorie deficit of about 500 calories each day for 3 to 4 weeks, and then go back up to your maintenance calories for a week or two, and then drop the calories again for another 500 calories for another 3 to 4 weeks, and stay there. The reason you want to drop the calories a few weeks and then raise it back up to your maintenance for a week is so that way your metabolism doesn't adapt to the lower calories. If you stay in a 500 calorie deficit long term, eventually that will no longer be a deficit. Like we talked about, your body will adapt to that, and that will become your new maintenance. And then you'll have to go 500 calories below that, and then you'll have to go 500 calories below that. And that's where you start eating below your BMR, which I talked about in the first video of all the negative health effects of that. I hope this video helps. I hope it gives you an idea of where you need to start and gives you kind of a blueprint of what you need to do to get on the right track to start reaching your goals. If you found this helpful, please like it, please subscribe, and comment any questions you have down below. I'm happy to help.